You know, we've come a long way from a time where you would make videos about sanctions and people would think you were insane. But now it's come to a time where even the South African president acknowledges sanctions on Zimbabwe and says that sanctions in Zimbabwe must fall. His finance minister is also speaking the same language. We've got the AU and SADC also beginning to ask for the sanctions on Zimbabwe to be dropped, because people are beginning to understand that the sanctions on Zimbabwe are not on government officials, they are not on senior ZANU-PF officials, but they are actually on the people of Zimbabwe. People are beginning to understand that these sanctions are against the government of Zimbabwe, which means that they are on the ministries of Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Health, Social Welfare, all the ministries that are supposed to ensure that Zimbabweans have a better life. And now these people are standing up. But what is problematic is that outsiders are standing up against these sanctions, while Zimbabweans are still speaking about supporting these sanctions. But it's also encouraging to see a number of Zimbabwean groups. In my mind right now comes the Citizens Forum. We've also got Zimbabweans Against Sanctions. All these people are beginning to speak the same language, that we must stand up against these sanctions and these sanctions must fall. The Citizen Forum are talking about how they need to march, protest in front of the US Embassy. I say let us blockade the US Embassy to ensure that the United States drops these sanctions, and if they are not willing to drop these sanctions, they must leave Zimbabwe, because they cannot continue to want diplomatic relations with a country that they are punishing and a country that they are at war with. I am willing to fly to Zimbabwe as long as we're going to have this blockade outside the US Embassy for them to drop these sanctions. International relations are not dealt with by punishing people of a nation. International relations are not dealt with by penalizing citizens of a country for voting for a political party that they want. International relations are not maintained by taking away the human rights of the normal man, ensuring that he doesn't get good health service, ensuring that his country cannot give him economic progress, cannot deliver him quality jobs, as the UN Charter said, because of sanctions that are being caused by powerful nations that want to maintain neocolonialism and imperialism. So I support this movement that is going on, that sanctions must fall. No Zimbabwean can say that they love Zimbabwe while asking for sanctions on their nations. Sanctions must fall. Whatever issues we've got in the country, we can deal with them together. We can unite, we can sit at a table, but sanctions must fall.